Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 7 of the IndyCar build. My name is Gary and this is the OK Modeler channel. And today we're going to start working again on getting the pinstripe on this cockpit of the IndyCar here. As you saw in the last episode, I had some problems with using 30-year-old decals and they all started to crack and it disintegrated. I still have the bowl right here. Disintegrated into a few dozen pieces. And I do have those decals from IndyCals, but I might email the guy of the website. I think the problem I'm running into is if I were to fold it up in the top here, then this nose where the pinstripe ends a little tad short. If I try to move it down a little bit, it could reach it, but then I would have this top side of the decal or the engine cover exposed. So I might email him and see if I can get some insights or some sort of information on what solutions he has for that. But I think what I'm going to do is, it's not ideal, but I might actually going to just paint the cockpit, which means I'm going to have to go ahead and remove this one as well. It turned out pretty nice, but it's not going to work if I paint one side and don't paint the other. Honestly, I thought I would be done by this episode, or at least putting the tires on, but I can't really get to the next step until I get this taken care of, because I need to get this cockpit glued onto the undercarriage of the chassis. So I'm going to go ahead and start taping and start measuring and get this process started. Hey everybody, here's an update of what I'm going to do. So instead of painting the pinstripes, I'm going to go ahead and use the decals from decals.net. I was emailing Michael, who runs the indycal.net, and he gave me some pointers and some suggestions, and I'm going to go ahead and try those out. As a result, I'm going to have to repaint the engine cover. Not so much repaint, but I'm going to have to paint a little more of those white spots, the white areas here. And then on the cockpit area, I'm going to have to go ahead and spray paint a little more blue over here to make this this decal work. This is just a print that I color copy, so I think hopefully this is going to work for me here. If not, then I got my backup here. So I'm going to go ahead and start get painted, and we'll go ahead and see what happens. All right, 3 days later, finally finished painting or making adjustments to the paint on the cockpit. I painted a little more blue, moved the line up just a little higher up to compensate for the gap that I anticipate when I put the new pinstriping on the cockpit. So I had to repaint that a little bit. This kind of still looks a little funky there, so we'll just kind of leave it there and maybe I'll fix it later. And I did the same thing with the engine cover here. Initially, you can see the line right here. That's where the second line right here. So I decided to pull an audible on this and decided that I'm not going to use the road course wing. The reason being is mostly because of the decal on the side. This decal is fit for the super speedway wing, not for the road course wing. And as you can see, this does not look good. I would wish that I would like to have this a little bigger or true to its size for this road course wing, and that's not going to work out. So I am going to go ahead and use the rear spoiler for the super speedway one here. the real estate here is going to be smaller, so it will look a lot nicer, a little sleeker. And I also painted the front wing here too. So some little changes here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put the cockpit on to the chassis here, or to the undercarriage, and let's go ahead and get this pinstripe started and at least try to get this finished. All right, the cockpit has been glued down. Go ahead and try to get this decal, the pinstripe on here first, and then hopefully this will work. If it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do next. So, all right. Alright, so over at the roll hoop I snipped a little bit of the blue here so it laid down a little better. I'm going to try this mark fit here. I know I should have applied it earlier, but alright, so I cut a little bit of the blue here so it'd go with the roll hoop. Just applied some of the mark fit on here, so I'm hoping that this decal lays a little nicer here. I do have a wrinkle right here, but I think it's tolerable in my opinion. I think I'll be okay with that. I don't think this project's gonna win me an award or anything like that, but you know, it's all for fun. Looking good so far. I didn't glue the engine cover on here, so I want to be real careful on that. And I'm kind of trying to get the line here so I can see where I need to cut once the decal dries up and secures in place. I'm gonna call that good. I think it looks pretty good. All right, thumbs up right there. All right, everybody, I finally got this put on there, and I put the decals on the engine cover. Everything's looking good. Then I realized when I took the engine cover off that the cockpit was loose or wasn't glued all the way, and had to glue it down even more. Resulted in this discrepancy in the line, I should say. All right, that's okay. Then I decided, oh, I forgot to put the fuel probe or fuel port in. And I realized that I should have put that in before I glued the cockpit in. And so I spent, 40 minutes sanding it down and making it fit in the hole to the best of my ability. You know what? It's okay. It's fine. You could probably see the edge of it right there. We're going to go ahead and ignore that. And then, because the decals didn't reach the nose quite, I painted the nose on there. It looks a little rough. It works. I'm going to just keep moving on. So, right now, I'm going to go ahead and start putting on the decals so we can get this IndyCar finished. Decals are done. Yay, finally, after all that trouble, got it done. It's not perfect. It's fine. I'm gonna just leave it the way it is. I omitted a couple decals on there. It's supposed to have a USAC sticker that goes over here somewhere. Didn't do that. There's a number 3 that goes on the roll hoop. Had to cut that out because not enough real estate over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and we're almost done with this project here. I did paint the tires here, the Goodyear Eagle on here. Then I popped in those rims on here, just snapped them right in, didn't crackle or didn't pop. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue those on there, but I gotta finish the front suspension, gotta get the rear view mirrors on there, and then I gotta go ahead and glue this doohickey on there as well. Alright, I put the center tube into the chassis. I didn't need any glue. It was a little tight, so it just sits right there, so that's alright. So I'm going to go ahead and put this little suspension upright, which goes right here, and then just goes like that. So go ahead and glue that and get that one taken care of. So I'll glue here. Little glue on this. Probably will evaporate by the time I get it on there. That's okay. Yeah, make sure it's straight. It looks straight. Add a little more of this good old cement there. And I'll just let that sit and work on the other side. All right, I got that center tube put in here. It was a little more challenging than the other one. I had to use glue on this one. I guess when you have one side that has a smaller hole and then the other side is going to be a little bigger, that's the way it is. I'm sure that could be a t-shirt too right there, that comment I just made. That's okay. So I'll just go ahead and add a little glue so it secures it in there. And that should take care of that part. So I'll just wait for that to dry and then add the upper suspension parts on here. All right, it's time to go ahead and glue the upper arm to the chassis, and it gets us one step closer. So the plan is I'm gonna use super glue over here, and then I'll use the Tamiya cement right there. I did test fit this, and it should go ahead and insert itself like that. Might need to adjust it just a tad bit, but that's as good as I'm gonna get. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the super glue. Hopefully that's enough. The reason I'm using the super glue is because it's not going to eat up the paint like the Tamiya or like the cement does. And brush this puppy on here. We'll leave that alone. We'll work on the other side here. Getting closer. Use the glue here. And we wait for it to dry. All right, let's see if we can get this tire on here, the rear tires on here. I did a test fit on this earlier, and the Love Bug rear end is going to make this pronounced. The tire is going to really make that rear end look really bad, but what am I going to do? I don't know. I'm just going to deal with it. There we go. That's nothing. All right. I'm just going to let it be. And I'll just let it set and go from there. All right. Let's go get that super speedway rear wing on. All right, let's go ahead and get that rear wing on the car as well. I'm using the super glue this time. Hopefully this is not a disaster. We'll see. Got it on the first try. All right, and we'll let that set. All right, everybody, I'm calling this project done. Finally, this project started on June 4th, 2021. Now it's October 19th, I should say. Wish it didn't take as long, but you know, when you have a full-time job and 2 kids, it makes things a little hard for me to get this done on a reasonable time. But anyways, I want to say thanks to Michael at IndyCals.net with his assistance on putting these decals on here, especially the striping of the cockpit area. If you guys ever wanted to work on this IndyCar or any IndyCar, you check out his website. This is not an endorsement or paid promotion or anything like that. Wish this car was a little better. I mean, the back end was got that Love Bug Herbie back end where it just is all kiltered. It's kind of like, instead of straight, is like that. I'll try to see if you can do an overhead shot here. You can barely see it, but it's right over here. Oops, right here. It's just kiltered that way. Another way you can see here is the wheels move, except for one, which is this. It's because this tire is rubbing on the underneath of the chassis. In the end, I guess it is my fault. I should have checked if it was straight when I attached the transmission to the engine, but it is what it is. Here's a look from the front. Doesn't look too bad. I wish I did a little better on this side here, but that's okay. Most likely, once I'm finished cleaning up this project here, I'm going to go ahead and just shove this into a box and be on and go on to the next project. So if you have any comments or feedback, just put the comments down below. Click the like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next project.